Ever feel like when you send your resume out, it's just going into a black hole? Like you're just putting it into a lottery machine.
Yeah.
You spend all this time on it, and then just nothing.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, how do you even stand out these days?
Right.
That's what we're going to talk about today. We're diving into all that with RoleCatcher,
Oh, cool.
their career development platform, and they have some really interesting takes on the whole job market thing.
Yeah, they have some really interesting insights. One of the things that I thought was really interesting that they talk about is this lottery effect, like you were talking about.
Right.
They're saying that so much of it now is all these algorithms and AI and all this stuff. So it's not enough to just be qualified.
Yeah.
You have to know how to actually get through those filters.
So how do you do that? How does RoleCatcher help with that?
Well, that's what's so cool about them. It's not like they just have a resume builder or something. They actually help you understand the system, right?
Okay.
So you can find a job that you're interested in and you can put the description into RoleCatcher. And what it does is it analyzes it and will tell you the skills that employers are looking for.
Wow.
But here's the thing. It's not always the obvious ones.
Oh, interesting.
It finds those kind of hidden skills that you might not even think about,
So it's like, what? Like reading between the lines of the job description.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like having X-ray vision or something.
I like it. But so it tells you all these skills, then what?
It's not just a list, right? It takes your resume, it takes those skills, and then shows you how they match up.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so you can see where the gaps are, what you should highlight, all before you even send your resume.
So it's like getting that feedback before you even apply.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
Yeah, and it saves you so much time because then you can really target your resume.
Right.
Now, this is interesting. So they recently published this guide about decontamination workers.
Okay, now why are we talking about decontamination workers?
Well, just stick with me for a second because I think this is really relevant to anybody looking for a job. What they do in this guide is they show how even a job like that, which you might think is really specific, actually uses a lot of transferable skills.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not about being a decontamination worker. It's about the skills.
Exactly.
Okay, so what kind of skills are we talking about here?
Well, they talk about problem solving, critical thinking, attention to detail.
Now, those are useful for everything.
Exactly. Those are valuable for any job. And they really do a good job in this guide of making that connection. Like you could be a project manager, you could be in healthcare, even software development. These skills are needed everywhere.
That's a good point.
It's about understanding what your core skills are.
Right.
And how you can apply them to different jobs.
Okay, that's huge. So we've talked about the jobs module a little bit in RoleCatcher, but I kind of want to know more about it. Like, what is it exactly?
So think about it like this. You're looking for jobs, right?
Mhm.
You're probably on a bunch of different websites.
Oh, totally.
You got Indeed, you got LinkedIn, you got company websites, all that.
It's overwhelming.
Right.
Keeping track of it all, it's impossible.
Exactly. So that's where this jobs module comes in. It lets you save jobs from all those places
Okay.
and puts them all together.
So it's like a centralized hub for your job hunt.
Exactly. And then you can organize everything, track your progress on each application.
No more spreadsheets.
I love it. No more spreadsheets.
But how does that all tie in with the skills analysis part we talked about?
Oh, that's the cool part. Let's say you've saved 5 jobs in this module.
Okay.
You can just click a button and it analyzes all 5 job descriptions at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's it pulls out all the key skills they're looking for.
So you see the common threads.
Exactly.
Okay, that's super useful.
Yeah, it gives you this really clear picture of what employers want.
That's so much better than just guessing.
Right. And then, of course, you can use that to tailor your resume, your cover letter, everything.
Make sure you're really hitting those key points.
Exactly. But resumes are just one part of it, right?
Yeah.
Then comes the interview.
Don't rely on me.
Everyone's favorite part. But don't worry, RoleCatcher has a tool for that too, the interviews module.
Okay, tell me more about this.
So it's basically a giant library of interview questions,
Okay.
like a massive amount, over 120,000.
120,000 questions.
Yeah.
Who has time for that?
I know, right? But the good news is you don't have to answer them all.
Okay, good.
What's cool is that they're organized by industry and even by specific skills.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're practicing questions that are actually relevant to the jobs you want.
So no more like generic tell me about yourself questions.
Well, you'll probably still get those, but this is about going deeper.
Okay, so how do you even know where to start with so many questions?
Well, remember how it analyzes your profile and
Yeah.
those job descriptions? It uses that same technology to recommend questions.
So it's like having a personalized study guide for your interviews.
Yeah, exactly. And they even have stuff on the types of questions employers ask to test certain skills.
Oh, interesting.
Like if they want to see how you problem solve, they might ask you this. Or if they're looking for leadership qualities, they'll ask you that, that kind of thing.
So it's not about memorizing answers. It's about understanding what they're really looking for.
Exactly. It's about like being prepared to think on your feet.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what about the actual interview? I get nervous,
Yeah, of course. It's nerve-wracking.
Even when I know what I'm talking about, I just get flustered.
I get it. Well, they have this premium feature. It's called Copilot AI.
Okay.
And basically, you can record yourself answering questions.
Oh, like a practice interview.
Yeah, but then the AI analyzes your answers, your body language, everything.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild. So it can tell you if you're like fidgeting too much or if you need to make more eye contact.
Wow, it's like having a personal coach right there.
Right. It's super helpful for getting that feedback and improving your confidence.
It's amazing how much technology has changed the game. Remember when you used to just mail in your resume?
Oh, yeah. With the fancy paper.
Right. You'd spend all that time making it look perfect.
And hoping it wouldn't get lost in the mail.
Exactly.
In the whole new world now. But I think these tools can be really empowering for job seekers.
For sure.
It levels the playing field,
Yeah, everyone has access to this information and these resources now.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about working smarter, not harder.
Totally. So for our listeners out there who are ready to take their job hunt to the next level, where do they go? How do they get started with RoleCatcher?
Well, the good news is RoleCatcher has a free version.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can try it out and see if you like it.
Test it out.
Yeah, before you commit to anything.
Yeah, I like that.
And then if you're really serious about it, they have different subscription levels where you can get even more features.
Yeah, and it's cool because they really see it as an investment.
Yeah, for sure.
It's investing in your career,
Totally.
which I really like.
Definitely.
I'll put a link to RoleCatcher's website in the show notes so you guys can find it easily.
Cool.
But, it's funny because we've been talking about this whole job hunting thing, and it made me think back to what you were saying about the decontamination workers.
Right.
Like, it really is interesting when you start looking at all these different career paths.
Yeah, there's so much out there.
There's more than you would think.
It's easy to get kind of stuck in your little bubble.
Right. Like, you only think about the jobs you know.
Exactly.
But when you actually start looking, there's so many different things.
And so many of them use skills that you wouldn't even think about, but that could apply to other things.
That's a good point.
Like you could be doing something totally unexpected, and it could actually be using skills that are in a high demand.
Right.
And you might not even realize it.
Yeah, that's so true.
So it's really about like being open-minded, being willing to learn new things.
And realizing that your skills are valuable even if you don't think they are.
Exactly.
Right. Like you might have something that's super useful to someone else.
And they might be willing to pay you a lot of money for it.
Exactly.
That's always a bonus.
So true.
But really, the takeaway is don't limit yourself.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to explore different paths.
Well, I love that.
And always be learning because you never know what's going to be the next big thing.
That's such a great point to end on.
Thanks.
So for our listeners today, remember,
What's up?
don't be afraid to be curious. Don't be afraid to try something new. And remember,
Your skills are valuable.
yes, you got it. Well, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
It was fun.
Always a pleasure. We'll see you guys next time.